Hey, my name is Adrian, and today we're going to be doing a quick 5-minute walkthrough of charting and Highcharts. So let's say you're a JavaScript developer and you want to create a line graph, maybe the one you see here. What do? So it turns out you could actually use HTML and CSS. If you take a look at this, you can see there are a number of HTML elements and just pretty straightforward CSS. And you can end up creating something that looks like this. Not too bad for a simple graph. When it gets more complex, you can draw with Canvas, which is an HTML element. You can see here, this is some Canvas code that can render a rectangle. And also, you can use SVGs. SVGs are a markup language for vector graphics. And you can see just code here, once again, can produce vector images. So you could draw these shapes yourself, but practically speaking, you're going to want a charting library. Today, I will show you Highcharts as an example of what a charting library can do for you. So let us shrink this window here. On the top, I have Highcharts Getting Started page, and on the bottom, I have a basic JS fiddle with Highcharts, just a div here, and a jQuery, which will run some code right after the document loads, but otherwise a very empty JS fiddle. So what we are going to do, according to this Getting Started page, is we are going to have Highcharts target our container div, and then we are going to have it render a chart based on certain properties. We're going to give a chart.type will be line, and series with name of data series, and a data, which is a simple array. So when we save this and press run, you can already see it is pretty magical what we have on the right. There's a ton of awesome styling and animations that exist by default. So we're already halfway there. We can easily change the graph type. As you can see in the documentation, there are a ton of options, as you can see on the left. Let's take a look at bar, just like that. And let's change it to pi. All right, what we want is line graph, so we will change it right back. Essentially, all elements of the chart, such as the axes, the legend, the title, the tooltip, are all modularized and configurable, as you can see on the left here. This makes Highcharts very configurable. For example, I can just add color, red, and as you can see, the whole styling of a Highcharts changes to red. They are also event listeners, which can really come in handy. For example, we can see in this documentation, there are event listeners such as click, drag start, drop, mouse out. There's just a ton here. Let's look at mouse over. So this fires when the mouse enters the area close to the point. One parameter event is passed to the function containing common event information. So let's see what this can do for us. I am going to copy in some code right here. So we're going to add in plot options, series, point, event, mouse over. And this mouse over will be a function that takes a parameter event and just console logs the event.target. And let's open up a console here. And let's see what we get. So as you can see, as we move over the mouse, there are console logs happening, and there is X and Y axis information, basically information about the point and the series that is being moused over. So that is very handy. Finally, let's get serious here. Let's really add some interactivity. So let's add in some input elements in our HTML. So as you can see, we added in some text input and also a button. Now let's add in an AJAX function. So I've added in right here a function that takes a string parameter, makes a GET request to a stock price API, passing in that string. Then it will take the data from the API, we will use a map function to simplify the data we get back and store it in a prices array. Then we use a Highchart method called setData to load that price into the data series. The last thing we need, of course, is a click handler. So I'm going to bring that in as well. All right, so on click, we will call a function that looks at the input, the text input, and passes that on to our get and load prices function. So let's save, let's load this up, and let's try. Let's put in AAPL for Apple, and look at that. Microsoft and Twitter. There you have it. As you can see, charting libraries are pretty cool.